How's it? Today is Monday, July 22nd. The deload continues. Today was a snatch day, and honestly, I thought today was going to be a lot easier. On paper, it seemed very easy. I was wrong. I talked with my coach last night for, close to an hour, talking about just the last few weeks of training. I don't talk to him very often. Usually he kind of sets up 1 week of programming, and then I end up just kind of taking it from there and auto regulating daily, and that seems to be working well. Um, but I talked to him, and like a lot of things are really going very well, and I am super super hopeful and super excited about what's coming next. Um, I want to snatch 112 probably by the end of the year. Maybe I want to snatch 115. That's really what I told him, is like, I think I can snatch 115 by the end of the year. And what he told me was like, I'm not thinking end of the year. I'm thinking by the end of summer. And I was like, oh fuck. I don't know if I can do that. But realistically, I'm plenty strong in every position that I need to be to do that. I just haven't been able to put it together. And kind of this week is like a true like deload, in the fashion that I'm doing less weight for everything on like easier movements. As far as my overhead movement goes here today, I am doing actually a little bit heavier than I did last week, but snatch, push, press plus overhead squat up to 115. I mean, the goal is this also, like, relatively speaking, a few weeks ago I did 120 for like three plus one. So like, this is a lot lighter, or a lot less reps for a little bit lighter weight. But if I'm gonna be snatching 115 soon, then I'm gonna be needing to have weight overhead that's close to that or more than that. And this is the first start in that, kind of moving towards that. Steve told me, Steve's my coach, by the way. Steve told me, like, you can start at 115. If you don't feel right, then go a little bit lighter. But I mean, 115 is pretty light for a snatch, push, press, and overhead squat. So I started there. And as far as the other movements go today, I'm doing some muscle snatches, which I suck at. I haven't done these in a very long time. He wanted me to use them as more of a warm up before doing a power snatch and hang snatch complex. Just doing 1+1s, going to like 80-ish, 10 total sets. Even though I did 11. Um, yeah. I'm not really a different person than I used to be. If you watch these videos long enough, if there's an opportunity that presents itself for me to go over like sets and reps and stuff, I'll probably do it. um, but I mean, I just wanted to see what 85 was gonna feel like, so I ended up doing 85 for my last set after had already done 10 sets, and it was fine. It was cool. After that I did something that I haven't done in probably, I want to say it's been more than a year since I've done these, like, snatch deadlifts with like slow eccentrics, 6 second eccentrics. Those are hard as shit. So when I'm thinking about like how things are going, like, this is technically supposed to be a deload, but I'm also preparing myself to be lifting the heavier weights sooner. And I'm the type of person that doesn't really, like, I don't really like deloading. I don't really like having to take a week of more like refined break. I don't like that. I like moving as much as I can. I like being able to put in as much work as possible. Like, as far as like deloading goes, that is like super necessary in certain circumstances for progress. But if you have a really smart periodized training, then deloading is, it's arguably, it's very valid in a lot of situations. But if you get to a point where you get so high in intensity and so low in reps that you cannot increase, then technically the next week you will have a deload. But you could increase in volume to make it harder than the week before, and like overall, like the amount of effort that you'll be putting into it is a little bit different, in a different facet. But that's the kind of changes that I'm more accustomed to, that I really enjoy, because I always like working harder. I think that growing as an athlete, I probably should be a little bit smarter with how I decide to do things, right? And like I can't continuously just push on forever. I don't think anyone can, even if you are on gear and stuff like that. I don't think you can push forever. All that to say is that like I fucking hate deloads. So yeah, like I thought today was gonna be very easy, just because like power snatch and hang snatch, 1+1, like that's very, very low effort in the sense of me going from like full snatches at like maximum weights at 100% last week, literally 100% for doubles. Well, I guess 100% for a double, if that makes sense, rather than like 100% of my single. That would be crazy for a double. But yeah, today was, you'll see, like I get more and more and more sweaty as it goes on, because I'm just moving a lot more than I'm used to. And like I wouldn't say it's necessarily like hot or anything. Sometimes people complain about it being hot and shit, and I don't really care about that. But here's my second set at 80. I'm trying my best to pull my arms after extension, like pull my elbows up. That is something that, like, that was a few weeks ago. Steve texted me a bunch of cues that would have helped me make my lifts. Like, that lift was really good. That's the reason why I went to 85 after that. But Steve texted me a bunch of cues that would have probably helped me on a day where I missed all of my snatches. And one of those was that, like, at extension, I am not really pulling my elbows up after, like, or I guess not at extension. After extension, I'm not really pulling my elbows up. And, like, I'm doing it right now. I'm sitting right here. And if I pull my elbow up, right, that means that if I'm thinking about just pulling only my elbow up, that means my hand is going to drop down to be directly below my elbow. And in theory, if I pull my elbow up and the same thing is happening with weight in my hands, then that means the bar is going to be right over or right under my elbow. And that in itself means that I'm going to be very close to the bar. And all that to say is that is a very good way of keeping the bar close to you without necessarily having to change too much about your extension. You might need to think about a little bit more of timing and whatnot, but I always think about like this thing where if you, at extension, if you pull your elbow up, back, and then you're able to rotate through, then that usually helps me overall. These are my snatch deadlifts with the 6-second eccentric. I thought these were a lot slower than 6 seconds, so I put a timer on all of this. Like, these are double time because these videos were super long. But this one right here, this last one, barely hits 6 seconds. But this is probably the shortest one that I did. And I'm like, yeah, very, very, very tired and very worked. But I think this is a good move. I feel like I've accomplished a lot today. Like with the deadlifts, that's gonna be like the weight that I need to be moving around. If I want to snatch 115, it's gonna be a weight that I need to be heavier than that when I move around. So that's something that is just gonna be setting myself up for the future. Alley-ooping myself in 2, 3, 4 weeks, months, I don't know. But yeah, did some pull-ups and then my pal-off press to finish off today. And yeah, that's the start of this week. I know I said I was deloading on Saturday, but like in my head, this is really like the calendar day. This is when the deload starts. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm super excited for what's coming next. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Shoots.